So welcome back to Debatable, and welcome back to Adam Lambert.
Thank you.
Good to see you
Good to see you too. Yeah.
The wheel goes round.
Here we are
you
again.
Make it back in. Couple of things going on.
Yeah, always.
We got a new song out, and we got announcement of more new songs to follow.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess let's just get out of the way. We announced the date and the tracks for Velvet Side A. Side A begs a question of what's our strategy here? Is there a side B?
There is a side B. Yes.
Is the assumed side B in the works?
Yes. That was the logic behind that. Yeah. Where there is a side A, there's a side B. Yeah. So the second half, I just decided to do it a little differently. I think there's no rules anymore. So I thought one EP, and then I'll put out another EP later, and then it'll be a full album available for everybody.
And that's how you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Because as you said, there are no rules, and there have been a couple of songs into this.
Yes.
So what's the reason to roll them up into this set? Why do these go together as a piece?
Well, these 6 on side A, they fit together. They fit together really well. They are all a bit throwback and classic, very groove based. With this project, I kind of rejected a lot of the current trends. I said, I love pop music, but I just want to do something where I'm going back to a throwback sound, a reference point for everything, where everything kind of makes sense. It's very easy as a pop artist to put together an album where it's just like a hodgepodge of all these different trends and
get the hot guys, get the hot beats in.
And it's like, you got to get a hit, you got to chase it. And I just got about 4 years ago when I started working on this, and it's been 4 years. Right. I just was burnt out. I was burnt out on the hustle a little bit, and I was burnt out on the game of it all. And I thought, I need to get back to the music. I need to get back to the artistry, to that part of myself that has integrity and it's making something from the heart. And that was literally the first like mission statement that I set out for myself. And in doing so, I thought, what do I love about music? Why do I like music? What's the kind of music that I've always loved that's made me the musician that I am? And so I realized it's the stuff that I grew up listening to in the house. It's my mom and my dad's vinyl. And that's where I'm going to start. And so instead of listening to like all the, the top 40 radio stations, I went back and started like deep diving into all the stuff that my parents had in the house. And remember and was so familiar with all that music because it was like part of my childhood.
And were those specific touchstones were there actual things you were pointing to and trying to bring out for these songs, or was it an idea and an approach?
It was both. Yeah. A lot of it was original stuff from the 70s and the early 80s, but I also was being drawn to current music that was also referencing that period. A lot of like alternative artists are borrowing from a lot of that stuff. You hear a lot of throwback sounds going on right now. So I would walk into sessions with a short playlist of old songs, new songs that sounded a certain way, that gave you a certain mood. I played a couple of them with the producers that I was working with, and I was like, let's do something in this world that feels like this, where you get a great bass line and you have like a really tight groove and there's a guitar riff of some sort and the vocal weaves in and out of that. That's the kind of music I want to make.
And that held true through, because I was going to say, this is spread. It's been 4 years since the album. This is stuff that's been in the works through the whole time. Yeah,
I really took my time with it because I wasn't doing what was obvious or what was expected of me. I wasn't doing, a tropical house song or, or whatever was trendy. I was like, no, I want to do this thing over here. And because it was a bit against the grain, it took a little longer. It took a little longer to kind of find the right people for the project. Lots of trial and error. There's definitely a lot of songs that are stashed in a folder that won't be used. But I had fun because I also reached out to people that I knew already. It started out as a project that wasn't me going up to the top of a label A&R person, like it'll put me with the hottest producer that did this person's song. it was more about me listening to these artists that were out right now, these alternative artists that I really loved. Who produced that song? Who produced this one?
Because you liked it.
Because I liked
you
it.
responded
That's
to
the
it.
world that I want to be in for this project. And so that's who I went and found.
So did it, over the course of that time, did that vision change or evolve at all? Or do you feel like where you came in is, that was sort of the guiding principle?
It kind of like took its own shape, and I wasn't like so specific because there is a lot of different genres going on, but it still fits in this kind of world. There's a little bit of soul in there. There's a little bit of funk. There's a little bit of disco. There's a little bit of rock. It's all mixed together, but it all feels like it's from the same world. I keep saying world,
right.
but it is a world. I wanted my album to feel like it existed in a certain
time and
dimension.
place.
Yeah.
Was there one of the songs, or was there even a part or a piece of one of the songs where you sort of could feel it come to focus? Was there something where you're like, oh, okay, now I kind of see what I'm doing here?
The song that we just put out, Superpower, was really one of the early ones, and I got together with Tommy English, who's a great producer who worked with Borns and Kay Flay, and has done really interesting stuff.
We love Kay Flay.
She's great.
Didn't realize that was also in the credits. But.
Yeah, he's and Tommy's. I heard Electric Love, and I was like, "What's that?" Like, I love this song. Who did that? And so I had some mutual friends. I found out about him, and also my friend Ilse Juber, who's a great songwriter, who I've known for years. We invited her to the session, and we just jammed. She got behind the drum set. He had his guitar. He had his bass. We came up with a groove, and then the song kind of wrote itself. But that was like an early sort of reference point for the rest of the music, because I said, like, it has to kind of go into this land. I want to hear these types of sounds throughout.
Little bit of, we were playing it yesterday on the show, a little bit of Prince in the bass line.
Definitely.
For sure.
Love Prince.
Yes.
Love.
Who also brought a lot of those different ingredients together anyway, so that puts you into...
And I wanted to hear real instruments. Yeah. I wanted to make music that when you got on stage to play it live, it didn't sound like drastically different. I wanted it to sound pure, organic.
So talk about Superpower a little bit, because in addition to sound, there's...
Obviously a message.
Yeah, there's a message attached. What is it that you wanted to get across in this song? And was that something that was there from the beginning, or is that something that sort of emerged along the way?
I think one of the things that I realized when I kind of had my little incubation period before this project started was trying to focus on why I love music, why I do this in the first place. And we talked about the sound and growing up with certain things, but also purpose. I am lucky. I have a great fan base. I have a fan base of people that are really passionate. And the thing that I keep hearing over and over again is, you make us feel like it's okay to be different. That's like the overarching thing that I keep hearing back from people. And so I thought I need to lean into that. That's important to my fans. That's important to my audience. I should keep with the empowerment theme. It works. It connects, and
you see it. You feel that resonate. And come
it
back
does.
To you.
Yeah, and it's like that's the best thing about being a performer, is when you can connect with a group of people and inspire them and have them take something away from the experience. That's why we do this, And so when we started writing it, I was like, let's kind of write like an anthem that's sort of like, for anybody that feels like an other. For anybody that feels, discriminated against or bullied or whatever, left out, let's write something that makes them feel strong, that makes them feel like they don't have to take it lying down, and something that assertively says, I'm going to demand respect, and I have power. You're not taking it from me. And that's the lyric.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's the video.
Yeah, which was done like last month.
Full glam.
Yep.
All in. Full eyeshadow and Elton specs.
Hell yeah, man.
Go.
And it was in Brooklyn, in Bushwick, and it was last month, and it was 90 degrees and humid as hell. And I was insistent on wearing that wool 3-piece suit because it was so glam. After the first take, I said, why did I wear this suit? This is so hot. I was literally drenched. I mean, we were like running to a van with the AC running and like taking the suit off and holding it against the air conditioning
squeezing
vents.
out
it was drama, but we had a lot of fun. Yeah. It was a good day.
So the stuff that we've heard has all been super dancey.
Yeah.
Is that where this full project kind of sits, or are there different things?
I love music that makes you move.
Yeah.
I've always I like listening to something that gives you a groove. I just I always have. I mean, I'm gay, but it has to have some sort of sway to it, whether it's slow or fast or hard or soft. It needs a pocket. That's the kind of music I gravitate towards. And so like with New Eyes that came out a few months back, that's definitely a softer, slower song, but it still has a groove. Right. It still has a something that you can sway to. And Superpower obviously hits a lot harder. It's a bit more disco. There's a little Daft Punk in there, Prince, like you said. And I just wanted people to be able to take this message of empowerment, which is sort of strong and defiant, but still have a smile on their face.
Have fun with it.
Yeah, like still be able to have that catharsis of dance and it's the end of the bridge is freedom. There's joy in that. I wanted the joy of that anthem to resonate.
Well, it's interesting not to then over-intellectualize from this thing, but I was just, because it's on my mind, there was this story yesterday in the Washington Post, I think, that was kind of talking about the sort of the pitiful state of protest music right now. And really saying the problem is that everything is kind of defeatist and complaining, but there's not a lot of music that's then proposing any, if it's just resist, and then what? Yeah. And the way that protest music should be there to inspire or to, it's not the music that changes anything. It's the listeners that change stuff. Yeah. So it's interesting to say, you wanted to take that message, but also wanted to then give people some place to go with it. And
that's one of the things I love about the music of the past is that was important to people, something with a message. I think a lot of people get into the music industry now, and it's more about how many streams you get. It's a game, it's a business, and I that's the thing I really rejected with this whole thing is that I it can't be about that. You hear a lot of songs about how much money the person has, or how many people they've slept with, or their car, or their watch, or whatever. It's just can we go a little deeper, please? And yeah, I think the protest thing is really important. We're in a time in our country where there's a strong divide. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of anger, fear, resentment. There is a place for music to provide escape, 100%. I think people need that. That is the best medicine, and people need that right now. But again, and I don't know if I was totally conscious of it, but Superpower, I hope, offers both. It offers an anthem, it offers strength, it offers some unity, but also let's dance. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's have a good time.
So I'm curious, interested what you see in your audience right now, and what maybe has changed recently as things maybe have changed around Queen recently.
Yeah.
Because you're in such a funny spot where, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that the response to the movie has led to seeing some different faces in the audience.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we sold out every venue in 10 minutes. Right. It was nuts. The sales were they've never been that fast. And I was looking in the audience over this tour over the past couple months, and it's there's so many kids. There's kids. There's all ages. There's it's way more diverse than it's ever been. I mean, it's really changed the demographic of what we see. It's great.
But for you, so you have the Queen platform. You have all these new, continued or new interest or developed interest from new fans and all of that. They see you within a certain context.
Yeah.
Do you see that then translate into what the Adam audience is, or do you see that as an opportunity?
I can only hope so.
How does that all kind of slot together?
I mean, it's not super calculated, but I definitely thought to myself as I was starting to work on this music, I realized, what could be nice is that this is a bit closer to the world of a Queen listener than maybe say my last album, which was, EDM, Swedish pop, current. It'd be nice to have music out on my solo side that was, a bit more of a cousin to Queen, without taking anything from Queen directly. I don't know if any of these songs necessarily sound like Queen, but it is certainly closer. And I guess for me personally, not even for my audience, but for me personally, I kind of wanted to feel a little less bipolar as a performer because I was having to shift gears much with the two projects.
That's
a bit weird.
Crazy head to be able to turn on and off.
Yeah, it was a bit like, whoa, okay, now I'm doing this, and whoa, now I'm doing. Yeah, I wanted to be able to kind of streamline it all.
But it does. This round does feel different post movie.
Definitely.
Who's showing up?
Definitely. I mean, I keep hearing from so many people who are maybe slightly a little older than me, like original Queen fans, that come up to me, especially like dads, and like, oh man, my teenage son loves Queen now. And it's because of the movie. So I think that's amazing. And I'm so proud of the band and so happy for them that this has sort of sparked this new pop culture moment for them. They deserve it. And these songs are timeless and they are fantastic. And I think it's amazing having Freddie elevated in the way he has and seeing him cement himself as even more of an icon. He's held in such a high regard. And it was his birthday yesterday, and that's one of the things that I love about being on tour with the band is that I do feel like I get to carry a torch for this hero of mine, that I get to talk about him and celebrate him on stage. We show him on screens. He's a part of the show. He's a part of the experience because it's not about me being a replacement. It's more about let's pay homage
celebrate,
to him.
Like you said, it comes up all the time on the show, and it comes up from our listeners all the time. Is this the amazing balancing act that you guys are somehow pulling off?
Yeah,
where it's not. There's a Freddie impersonator who's up there.
Yeah, that would be weird.
But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like your identity, and yet feels like it slots in here. And that's an incredibly tough thing to pull off.
I didn't know him, but Brian and Roger say like there are definite similarities. And the thing that I've heard from them over and over again that makes me really happy is they say, we think you actually would get a kick out of each other. Freddie probably would have bantered well with you. You probably would have like enjoyed each other's company. And hearing that means a lot. And that's really important because I think unintentionally, I hope that I'm bringing some of his spirit to the table, like some similar taste for life and sense of humor and point of view. I do feel like there's some parallel there. And I just wish I had known him. I wish he were alive so I didn't even have the gig, like he was amazing.
Somebody can hold that spot,
but I'm thrilled to take the gig and I'm thrilled to be in this incredible, honorable thing that I get to do. It's great.
I don't expect you to remember this, but I moderated the press conference at the Garden
when we did the first announcement.
Did the first announcement.
I do remember, yeah.
When it was like revealing, okay, to the world, we're doing this.
Are you guys ready for this?
What were you feeling? When you get yourself back to that moment, what were you feeling as this was about
2014, I think?
13, something like that.
The tour
somewhere
was in 14,
in there. When you look back to that, what were you thinking about to embark on whatever this was going to be?
I was really excited, first of all. I mean, I knew how big of a deal it was, but I was definitely intimidated by the idea of it. We had done some shows, so we had done it. It wasn't a first time, but it was first time in the U.S., and it was like a proper tour. So I know I was kind of like, well, is this going to work? Are people going to go for it? Are we going to sell? Are they going to hate it? I don't know. I didn't know. And it was a big success and it was great. But yeah, at that press conference, I was kind of like, fingers crossed,
Not a sure thing.
No, it wasn't. And I think Brian and Roger knew that too, but we were all kind of like, well, we're all game. Let's try it, And the rest is history. It's worked out really well. And man, it's singing that music every night it's a lot of work. It's athletic, but the audiences know every word to every song. That's a performer's dream, to perform in front of an audience that's that with you. That's it.
But intimidating because they know it inside out. They come with the expectation is high.
And that's I do put a lot of pressure on myself. Maybe there's the odd night where like my voice is a little tired or I'm feeling a little under the weather on tour, and I'll say to Brian and Roger, "Oh God, yeah, I kind of feel a little like worn out tonight. I don't know. I hope I can get up to that in that song, I hope I can do all that section that's really high or really aggressive. And they're like, oh, just duck it. Just do an alternate melody. I mean, Freddie used to do that all the time. If you watch footage of Freddie, he was taking the easy way out all the time. And I was like, yeah, but he wrote the damn thing. He was Freddie Mercury. He's allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants. I have all these people looking at me like with their arms crossed and side-eyeing me going, should he even be here? I have a lot to prove right now. So that keeps me on my toes, sure.
No easy way out.
No, I can't cheat,
So I have to ask, and I know there's nothing you can say, but I have to ask. So Brian goes on Instagram the other day and uses the phrase, new album.
I saw a news story about that. I know nothing about it. And also the word album could mean photo album, because he does do the stereoscope thing. He has lots of little projects he's working on. He's working on a thing on the space thing. And I don't know what it means, actually. I haven't asked him.
But you saw this post? Or somebody's told you?
I saw the headline about the post.
And I thought, I'm sorry the images in this post are a little fuzzy. They're from a video that we're making, because I'm going to make this announcement soon. You'll hear about this new album. News to me. Okay. I haven't talked to him about it yet. I have to ask, actually. I should text him. Be like, what album? Now you've got to answer for it.
Yeah, exactly. So. You're putting me on the spot now, man.
Was there ever any thought of having those guys play on any
Brian played on a track on my last album, right, on the original High. It was called Lucy. He came into the studio and laid down a wicked guitar solo. Yeah, I mean, it's like we get asked by every member of the press about recording together, and it is a very interesting idea. I get it. It's like a never say never situation, but it hasn't really come up in reality with the three of us. And I kind of think, I'm not going to re-record anything that they've already put out. That would be sacrilege. We're not going to do that. And I don't know what that means. I mean, is that called Queen at that point? Because to me, when it's talking about like composing original music, Queen to me isn't Queen without Freddie and John. Performance-wise, what we're doing is we're performing the music of Queen with Queen. It's different.
I keep thinking is the easy way around. Have them come play on an Adam project, and then it takes away all of that.
Yeah, maybe something else will come up. I'm not sure. I think they love performing live. They love performing their music. We just haven't really. That just hasn't come up.
Do you go straight into side B, or are you already in there for the next thing?
There's other songs. Yeah, we're dialed in. There's a couple slots open, a couple available. You have to decide which song goes where. I have a lot of music.
But you've got a sense of what the next piece is going to be.
It'll fit well with side A. It might feel slightly different, but it'll still fit.
Superpower, just out. Velvet, side A, coming end of the month. And then you guys are back in for this Global Citizen Festival today.
Yeah,
right?
That's going to be great.
Fun.
I'm really excited
Central
about
Park
that. Yeah. And it's a great, Global Citizen's an amazing organization. I mean, I've learned so much about them over the past couple months since we all got on board for this thing. And Queen and myself, we're supporting Plastics in the Ocean as our initiative. For those of you who don't know, Global Citizen has like a handful of different things that they're trying to accomplish, and different bands or artists get behind one cause. And it's really cool because they have an app that fans have to download and tasks they have to complete in order to be allowed to come to the concert. So it's not just buy a ticket.
Right. You're earning points through taking action.
It's a really cool concept. It's very involved, and they're actually getting big governments to fund these different initiatives. So that's what the actions are. It's pushing and pressing the governments around the world that have a lot of money, Norway example, things like that. Please put money into this. Please make this happen. And they hold them to it and hold them accountable, it's pretty cool. It's like a badass organization.
Good reason to come play in the park.
Yeah.
Adam Lambert, always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.